Hello and welcome to N64 Classics. In this installment, I'm taking a look at a game that I thought would be released earlier in the N64's life, but this didn't come out until 1999. This was developed by a company called H2O Studios, and it is the version of Tetris that we wanted at launch. When the Nintendo 64 launched, it launched with a version of Tetris called Tetrisphere. And I always thought Tetrisphere was a sort of weird game and wasn't the version of Tetris that I was expecting or really wanted. You know, its main emphasis was on multiplayer gaming, on 4-player, you know, because that was the new thing at the time. You could play, 4 players all at once and you don't need a multi-tap. But I never really liked that game, and likewise, another version of Tetris that I thought would be similar was Wet Tricks. And that turned out to be a huge disappointment. I don't like that game whatsoever. And yeah, in 1999, my Tetris dreams finally came true with the release of the new Tetris for the N64. This was released exclusively for the N64, which I thought was, you know, somewhat special and made it unique amongst N64 games. So you might be wondering, well, what's new about Tetris? Well, for one thing, they added a data structure mode and a save feature, which allows you to save your progress as you go and track how many blocks you've dropped, you know, how many Tetrises have you got, you know, things like that. There's standard game modes such as Marathon, which is like your endless mode, Sprint, which is your time attack, and new Ultra mode, which is like more challenging mode that lets you fight against an opponent. I'm not that good at Tetris, so I'm going to play it on medium, and here we go. In addition to that, the new Tetris allows you to keep a block in reserve that you can then use anytime you want. Simply press the L button to switch between the two blocks. You can only switch between a block once per turn, though, so it makes sure that if you want to switch blocks, you're doing it properly, because if not, you have to drop that block. This simple little change really adds to the gameplay and makes this version of Tetris play much more differently than the original versions, like for the NES or Game Boy. So right now I can get a Tetris, where otherwise it would be impossible. This makes gameplay faster, more frenetic, you know, just more interesting. Drop it. The borders between the areas change every stage, so you're never going to be staring at the same scenery twice, and the music also changes. For the most part, it doesn't really feature the classic Tetris music, which is, you know, somewhat of a shame, because who doesn't like the Tetris theme? I don't claim to be a very good Tetris player, but I know how to play it at least, and you know, that's more than to say about most puzzle games that I just struggle to figure out how to play them. Oh, whoops. Damn it. Oh, I won because he lost first. Alright. So let's keep going. Like most 2D N64 titles, this game is actually best played with the N64 stock controller, which is something I can't normally say because I don't really like the N64 stock controller. But the reason I can say that about this game is because the stock controller has an excellent D-pad, and that's exactly what you're looking for Tetris. You don't want an analog stick. Analog stick would be a hindrance for this game. There are other, certainly better versions of Tetris that I can think of besides the new Tetris for N64 here, but all said and done, this is not a bad version of Tetris by any means. And I think that it's quite playable. I really wouldn't go out of your way to, you know, find a copy, but if you do see a copy locally, consider picking it up because, like I said, this is one of the best puzzle games for the N64, and you can't go wrong with Tetris no matter what console you get it for. You know, in fact, during normal gameplay, you can't even use the analog stick if you wanted to. I don't know if there's a setting that allows you to, but, yeah, you can't even do that even if you tried. The analog stick just does nothing. That. Launch Tetris. Alright, there we go. In addition to running, you know, this new marathon mode, you can go back and, you know, look at things like your wonders here. What this is they're like prizes that are won, so you can like look at these 3D models. It's just, I don't know, a little something extra that they threw in. Let me look at my, look at my stats here. You can see, let's see, how do I do this? Oh, there we go. Tracks, you know, all your stuff that you drop. Kinda neat. Let's go to single player again. This game does support up to 4 players if you want, so you can have, you know, 4-player mayhem. Let's go into marathon again. And otherwise, it's just Tetris. I believe I picked this game up for about $10 or so. So it's not particularly in high demand. But there's nothing really wrong with it. It's Tetris, you know, and Tetris is great. And otherwise, the N64 has very little in the way of puzzle games. So I'll take Tetris where I can get it. Anyway, that'll about do it for this video, so thanks for watching, guys. If you have any particular N64 classics you want covered, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.